Right then guys, how's it going and welcome back to another Premier League predictions video for Game Week 28. Those were my predictions up there from Game Week 27. I had a cracking week. I got 3 correct scores. I was right that Southampton would beat Norwich 2-0. I was right that West Ham would beat Wolves 1-0. And I was right that Leicester would beat Burnley 2-0. So, great week from me, and thank you to all of you who got involved in the last video by getting your predictions down in the comments. I'll put a load of them on screen now. Again, be sure to get your predictions down in the comments below of this video for Game Week 28. But as always, we will go through each of those games now. Starting off on the Saturday at 12:30 on BT Sport, we have got Leicester taking on Leeds. Leicester currently sitting in 13th place, had gone 5 games without a win in the Premier League until they beat Burnley during the midweek. I think it was Tuesday night. Taking on a Leeds side who are currently sitting in 16th place, just 2 points ahead of the relegation zone now. I think, is it 4 Premier League losses in a row, losing against Spurs at the weekend. The manager's gone. Bielsa is now out. The new manager is in, and he is going to be doing what he can to keep Leeds in the Premier League this season. As I say, Leeds are obviously not having a good season. Leicester are not having a great season. It's whether Leeds can get that new manager bounce, try and get the ball moving. But again, Leicester did win a game during the week, which will have their confidence up as well. I have backed Leicester to win this one. I've gone for a 2-0 win. Moving on to the 3 o'clock kickoffs now on Saturday. We'll start with Aston Villa taking on Southampton. So Aston Villa currently sat in 12th place. Middle of the league. The results kind of reflect that because in the last 7 games they've lost 3, drawn 2, won 2. But they did pick up a win at the weekend against Brighton. Taking on a Southampton side who was sat in 9th place. They played through the week as well. I think they beat West Ham in the FA Cup. To add to what has been a fantastic second half of the season, Southampton's form has really picked up over the last 10 or so games, winning against Norwich in their game at the weekend as well. So 2 wins in a week for them. I have backed Southampton to win that one 2-1. I think it could be a close game, but again, I'll back Southampton. Next up, we've got Burnley taking on Chelsea. So Burnley currently sat in 18th place, just 1 point from 17th, so 1 point from safety as things stand. They're playing about 1 million games at the moment because they're trying to catch up on all the ones that they missed. They drew against Crystal Palace at the weekend, and then, as I say, they lost against Leicester through the week. In fairness, they have picked up a few wins of late, so they are trying to turn it on where it matters and really try and push away from that relegation zone. But taking on the Chelsea side, who are currently sitting in 3rd place. In fairness, though, Chelsea haven't had the greatest of form, really, over the last 7 or 8 games, but they have won the last 2 Premier League games now. They did also win against Luton in the FA Cup this week. They did, however, lose in the League Cup final at the weekend. So, you know, in terms of Chelsea's form, maybe it's not been perfect, but I still think they've got what it takes to beat Burnley this weekend. So I've gone for a 2-0 Chelsea win in that one. Next up, we've got Newcastle taking on Brighton. So Newcastle currently sitting in 14th place. I think it's 4 points ahead of the relegation zone, which, to be fair, doesn't actually sound maybe as much as it should be, considering Newcastle are unbeaten in 7 Premier League games, which is the first time they've done that in over 10 years, and they've won 4 out of the last 5, but are still just 4 points ahead of the relegation zone. It just shows how competitive things are down there right now. Taking on a Brighton side who are currently sitting in 10th again. Good season, decent season. I mean, they have, however, lost the last 3 games in a row, including the loss against Villa. However, one thing that does go in Brighton's favour for this game, and I'm not sure exactly, is it that Newcastle have never beaten Brighton at home in the Premier League? So Newcastle, again, have been on some great form. That is a statistic they are going to want to try and change this weekend. So I have backed Newcastle for a 1-0 win. I've been doing that for the last 6 or 7 games and it seems to be working, so I'm just going to keep backing it. Whether it's right or wrong, as long as they pick up some points, that's okay. So we'll stick with the 1-0. Moving on, we have got 2 relegation contenders here in Norwich and Brentford. Norwich currently sat in 20th place. Now bottom of the league, 5 points from safety. Lost against Southampton at the weekend, as I mentioned. And in fairness, Norwich won a couple of games not too long ago as well, but have now lost the last 3 in a row and lost against Liverpool in the FA Cup as well. Taking on a Brentford side who are sitting 15th, have slowly but surely, the second half of the season, dropped down and down. Now just 3 points ahead of the relegation zone. Lost to Newcastle at the weekend, as I mentioned, and haven't won a game in a long time. Is it 10? Games now that they've not won for? It's a long time. I should have double checked that, to be honest, but as you can see the form guide on screen right now, it ain't good. And to be honest, for that reason I've gone very boring and I've gone for a 0-0. It could maybe go either way, 1-0 either way. I mean, both teams need the 3 points. I almost feel like a draw is not really helping either of them, to be honest. All the draw is doing is helping the other teams around them. So really someone needs to win this one, but I think it could be really close. Next up, we've got Wolves taking on Crystal Palace. So Wolves sitting in 8th place. Have been on really, really good form again. Another team who are picking up in the second half of the season. Have won 4 of the last 7 games and lost the other 3. So I suppose it's a bit mixed with that one. And they did lose against West Ham 1-0 at the weekend as well. But still with a push for Europe. Taking on Crystal Palace side who actually beat Stoke in the FA Cup this week. They're just loving the draws, I think. They just want to try and beat the record for most draws ever. Now joint with Brighton on the number of draws. And having said that, they drew at the weekend as well. They drew against Burnley 1-1. I haven't backed the draw in this one though. I've backed the Wolves win. I've gone 1-0 in that one. Moving on to the 5:30 game on Saturday now, and it is on Sky. We have got Liverpool taking on West Ham. So Liverpool not doing too bad at the moment. They've won the last 6 Premier League games in a row. They won the League Cup at the weekend. They actually beat Norwich through the week in the FA Cup as well. And they are currently 6 points behind Man City in the league with 1 game in hand. And if I'm not mistaken, they've still got to play each other as well. So that is really ticking along. We'll have to see what happens with that. Hoping to get 3 points against the West Ham side, who are currently sitting in 5th. So West Ham are 2 points behind 4th. So again, it's in there in the chance of the top 4. The issue is there's teams behind them as well who aren't too far away. For example, Arsenal have 3 games in hand over West Ham still, and they are obviously looking for a top 4 spot as well. So it's an important game for both Liverpool and their title run. It's an important game for West Ham and their run for Champions League football. And I have backed the team in form, which is Liverpool. I've gone 2-1. I think West Ham are a very good side and could well make a good go of this one, but in terms of prediction, it's tough not to back Liverpool against anyone, to be honest. Moving on to the Sunday now at 2 o'clock on Sky, we have got Watford taking on Arsenal. So Watford currently sat in 19th place, 3 points off safety. Obviously Roy Hodgson's in there now trying to fix things for them. They did win a game a few games back. They beat Villa, which was a huge 3 points. They then, however, lost against Crystal Palace 4-1. But they did draw against Manchester United at the weekend, so I would not say that's a bad point at all. A 0-0 draw there. Taking on an Arsenal side who I've just spoken about, currently sitting in 6th place, have won the last 3 games in a row. They're 2 points off 4th with 3 games in hand. So they are sitting in a very good spot, but you know the games in hand mean nothing if you don't win them. But I have backed them to win this one. I've gone for another 2-1 win in that one. Again, Watford are a side who are desperate for points, and I do think as the season goes on, we could well see some pretty big games, but I've stuck with Arsenal there. And next up on the Sunday at 4:30 on Sky, we have got Manchester City taking on Manchester United. The Manchester derby, Man City fighting for the top spot, Man United fighting for 4th place. Both teams are on very good form. I think Man United are unbeaten in about 7 games now. But they have played a few that maybe they've drawn and they probably would have liked to have done better. Again, the Watford game, for example, on paper you would have expected them to win that one, and there was a few others similar to that. And then look, Man City have been great. They did lose a game against Spurs, the other game, and then they just about beat Everton in their last match because of the handball with Rodri. That was, I mean, for me, it was definitely a handball, so I think they got away with that one a little bit. And then in terms of, and they beat Peterborough in the FA Cup this week as well. In terms of a prediction, I do think with the derby, I think things can change very quickly. But Man City are at home, and again, it's hard to not back them to beat anyone in the world, never mind the Premier League. So I've gone 2-0. Let me know what you think about that one. And to finish off the weekend's games, on Monday night we have got Tottenham Hotspur taking on Everton. So Spurs currently sitting in 7th. Again, they are 5 points off 4th with 2 games in hand. So again, it's this games in hand thing that's kind of thrown everything off at the moment. In terms of their form, they were on such a good run, and then for whatever reason, the last 7 games or so, it's gone a little bit all over. I think they've lost 4 and won 3 of the last 7 games. Having said that, they did give Leeds a hiding at the weekend when they won 4-0. Taking on an Everton side who currently sat in 17th place. They actually play their FA Cup game tonight against Boreham Wood. Lampard did win his first game of his new campaign at Everton in the FA Cup, so I'm sure he's going to hopefully make it another one tonight. In the Premier League, however, hasn't been quite as good. Just 1 point above the relegation now. Not the start that Frank would have wanted. Losing against Man City at the weekend. Again, very unlucky with that handball that I think should have been a pen. I've backed Spurs 1-0. Spurs actually lost against Middlesbrough in extra time at the FA Cup at the week, through the week as well. But I've backed Spurs 1-0. And that was it for the weekend games. I am going to quickly run through there's games on Thursday. It's just, like, where can we just plonk games anywhere and just try and get them played? So game week 28 has got 3 extra games. It's got Southampton versus Newcastle, where I've backed Newcastle at 1-0. Again, as I say, I'm going to keep running with that one until it stops working. I've also backed Wolves to beat Watford 2-1, and I've also backed Aston Villa to beat Leeds 1-0, and that one is on Amazon Prime. So those are all of my predictions up there for game week 28. Be sure to get your predictions down below in the comments for all of those games there. I always go through them, I always read all of them, so thank you to all of you guys who get involved. Again, if you are enjoying this series, be sure to drop a like on the video, and if you are still watching, please subscribe, put the notifications on. I try and do this video every Wednesday. I know it's Thursday tonight, it's been a busy week, but I do them every week, and I'm planning on doing it all the way till the end of the season. So thank you all for watching, as always. Enjoy the rest of your week, enjoy the weekend, enjoy the football, and I'll catch you later.